Preparing the live stream. Webinar is now live streaming on Facebook. At least that's what it tells me. Oh.
Yep, you're live. Or wait.
How come I just see me? I just see me there. How come you're not there?
I don't know.
Are you
There I am.
Oh, you're there?
It's like toggling back and forth when we talk.
It's because of whoever's talking, I guess. Chaz couldn't figure out how to get it to show me without a camera. Now I'm doing it, and he can't get us both to show. Is there a way to do this? I don't know. Let me just share it in the group, and instead of just awkwardly sitting here and talking about how we're live streaming. Share now. For anyone who is here watching, welcome to the SEO Vault, episode 93. 93, yes. That's a lot of episodes. I've only missed like 2 of them, I think, 2 or 3. So, trying to share it in the. Can you get it to? Do you have it open, Sophie? Can you share it in the local SEO community?
Yeah.
So I don't have to struggle here anymore. All right. I guess we'll get started. Welcome everyone, SEO Vault, episode 93. Today we have me, Mike, as your host, taking the place of Chaz because he's off enjoying the better things in life. And then my co-host today, I guess, Sophie. She's going to be here as well. So yeah, welcome. Yeah. Okay, yeah, every Thursday at 4 p.m. Join us on the SEO Vault, SEO News. We got brand updates, answer questions, all that fun and exciting stuff that we do live on the Vault. So let me get you guys. I don't even have the Facebook open yet.
I have it open. I'll read them.
All righty. So yes, ask your questions in the comments. Any questions, comments, anything you got. I guess I'm gonna move right into brand updates. Free Vault giveaway. Every week now we've been giving away free stuff on the SEO Vault. So this week we're actually going to give away some PBN links, tier 2 links. You can use them for citations, NAP, map embeds. A lot of good uses for tier 2 links. I generally don't suggest using these types of PBNs directly to your money site, but for some lead gen sites and other projects like that, you may choose to. That's up to you. But we're giving them away for free. At the end of the vault, we are going to randomly pick someone. Well, Sophie's going to randomly pick someone, and then tell me who she randomly picks to get these free tier 2 links, and then I'll message you, shoot you a coupon. You can go right over the site and get them for free. So go ahead, ask your questions, leave a comment, just post something so you qualify to win, because you don't want to miss that. All righty, what else we got? Weekend wheel deal. It's what it used to be until we stopped the wheel. Now it's just a weekend deal, and the weekend update starts tomorrow. We are still deciding on what it is. So if you're not on the weekend update email list, be sure to go to web20ranker.com, get on the weekend update. And just recently we did release the 2020 summary, right, of all the SEO med scientist tests that we did, which we release in the weekend update every single week. So if you want to get caught up on the past year through 2020 of tests, that's also on Web20 Ranker. I don't know, Sophie, if you can find a link for that.
I'll drop it.
Awesome. Drop it in the comments. You can download that full report and then make sure you're signed up. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to have a deal running. Something on the website. Usually we give away access to an upcoming webinar or free product with purchase or cashback, percent off, all different types of things. So make sure you're signed up and watching out for that. On top of that, we did recently release our new niche relevant guest posts. We have e-commerce, travel, health, and tech. I believe those are the only four at the moment. We are working on getting more niches, I believe, though, correct? And of course, adding more sites to those ongoing. But definitely super powerful premium links, hand selected, hand placed. They're not your standard, basic guest post or standard guest post that you would get. I believe we sell these are like individual, they're sold individually by the site, right? You can sort by DA, referring domains, all that good stuff. If you are in one of those niches, e-commerce, travel, health, or tech, I highly suggest looking into it. Either something you can include in your client's campaign, or even upsell your clients, honestly, for some of these higher quality links. I've even told clients, hey, we can get, some good links here or there for an extra few $100s this month or that month. They actually make good upsells from my experience also. Let's see, AP News press release, the brand feature is going to be live soon. We don't know exactly any details, right? We're just hard working on that. That should be.
It's almost done. I think it just needs like the last check over it, but I have done things. So I think it's done pretty much.
Alrighty, I'm sure we'll have more news on that next week. And then lastly, we are hiring, which Sophie reminded me before we got on, we should probably mention, because we probably have, I don't know, 14 to 20 open positions across every department in the company. We're growing massively, super fast. 2020 being the rough year it was, actually, we grew quite a bit in 2020, and then 2021 it's just been so. Hopefully everyone else is taking off like we are, but we are hiring. Sophie's going to drop a link for anyone interested. There's everywhere from more of the functional work in the company, from the link building and citations and all that stuff, to hire and campaign planning and some client management stuff and campaign reviews and everything from front to back. Not even just in Web 20, but our front end agency as well. We have positions open. So definitely, if you're looking for great opportunities, great team, we got a huge team, tons of resources. Definitely a good old time working with Web 20 here. So I highly recommend it. Alrighty, that's it, I think, for the brand updates. You didn't have anything else, right, Sophie?
No.
Alrighty. How is do we got anyone in the comments here?
A lot of comments.
Anyone looking to win the free PBN links?
I think they all are. That'd be a great way to test it out if you've never used them too.
Yeah. Especially too, because the PBN Map Embeds, we've just recently, that was released not too long ago. I think we even did some tests that we released on them. But they're definitely great for moving the needle in local, if you haven't already done that or tested with that. And yeah, I can't seem to find
what
the live.
I got it. I can monitor.
But I want to see Sophie.
Oh,
I'm FOMOing.
Mikhail asked if we have any tips on outranking phone directories like Justdial and Practico.
For local terms, yeah, get a Google My Business listing and rank in the maps. That would be my advice. That's the best real estate for local. If there's no map pack, if it is just directories that you're competing with, you can consider maybe building a directory. But anything short of actually competing on the same level that they are, you're generally not. Like, if the whole top 10 listings are directories, you're probably not going to get your local business in there. And I've seen Google updates push small businesses off the first page year after year after year, which is why there's so much emphasis on the local pack right now. But honestly, that would be my advice. Either, play with the big dogs with that high authority directories, that kind of stuff, or really just shoot for local. So
Brian wants you to tell him more about PBN Map Embeds.
PBN Map Embeds. So essentially, Google My, the map, you can get an embed code, put that on a press release, you can put it on a blog post, anything like that. PBNs, though, usually carry a little more authority because that's obviously why we use them. We buy them specifically on the domain name or leverage specifically based on the backlink profile. So that's why I generally like to use PBNs, but understand that the concept behind it actually works really for anything. You can use it with Web 2.0s. You can use it when you're considering kind of your domain authority stacking. That's an old term that used to be used. I don't really hear that much anymore. Oh, sorry, my dog's getting upset here. But essentially what you're doing is you're building signals on PBN. So you're leveraging the authority, but using your standard Google My Business signals, the map embed, the name, address, and phone number. I've even used things like schema markup in the PBN post and really build out the signals on that, that property. And then also links, obviously. So your map embed also links to the GMB, but linking to your GMB site or specifically the site. I've seen more results from that than linking directly to the GMB itself. But essentially, it's just that. So any type of signal you would normally generate with a press release, a guest post, or anything like that, you're just leveraging a PBN just like people do for backlinks, right? So that's PBN embeds, and I highly suggest playing around with them if you haven't. I've used them for years. They've kind of gone in and out, but the more signals you stack on top of each other, the better. So like if you just embed a map, you don't really get much movement. But if you put, say, like a press release or a news release, an update you do on a PBN about the brand with an NAP, with a map embed, you link to the GMB site with a keyword maybe, and then you have all those signals. Maybe you put the schema markup for the name, address, and phone number, all of that on the post on the PBN, just like, you do backlinks and organic kind of thing. So mimic those signals like you normally would do with any PBN. All righty. Press release have done nothing for maps. Press releases definitely are, we like to use them. That Brian said that, by the way. If anyone uses press release in their strategy, they may have seen not so much results. It's definitely diminished results over the years. I use them mostly as a part of a holistic strategy at this point. I have seen movement when doing a press release, but again, it's always hard to tell if that's in conjunction with some other signal or something like that, or if you're just, getting an update in Google or who knows. But there's a lot of things in press releases like the NAP. You can do map embeds, getting keywords in the title and the URL contextually around the brand references in the press release, things that we have tested and have seen help definitely on a holistic strategy. But anyone who's been in SEO for say 5-10 years knows that press releases aren't like they used to be. So I think that was that Brian? Yeah, Brian, you've been around for a little bit, so that's probably why he's saying you don't get anything from press releases anymore.
You should use custom signals, Brian.
Yeah, so custom signals, it's press releases is really part of a holistic strategy, right? Like that's what it is. So custom signals, all the PBN map embeds, use that all along with it. But I mean, they used to be able to rank with press releases. Like you could put up a GMB citations press release and boom, you were just done. And you didn't need the keywords all over your GMB name either. So times have definitely changed, but anyways, that's sorry, I kind of rambled on for a minute there. What else do we got going on here? Victor says they work quite well. Yeah, link to the GMB site.
Uni, use custom signals. I only did custom signals for a site and saw a huge jump, and it's not even been 2 months yet since I started it with that site.
Yeah, it's we have a few campaigns that I'm running with a few people that they have smaller budgets. And usually when people have a smaller budget, but they're like, we want kind of the biggest bang for your buck. There's always the little things you can do, like the PBN map embeds and stuff. But at the end of the day, when you look at SEO at its core, custom signals is literally like the definition of true SEO. The custom signals, the concept of that, it's what SEOs have been doing since the beginning of time in SEO, and it's what's always worked, and it will always work no matter what, because it is only based on what is ranking in Google. So, if it's signals that Google is telling us is ranking the top sites already, which is why
And
it works.
it's based on competitor analysis, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, we're looking at, like, your keyword is, roofing Chicago. We search roofing Chicago, we take the top ranking brands, and we cross-reference the signals that they're getting, guest post, citations, markup, whatever it is. And then we start with the most common ones. So, like, say the top 5 ranking brands all have backlinks or markup or citation from this local site, or, this guest post on this, or a patch or something like that. Then we go and get that same signal for your brand, and we continue through that list. And so essentially we're getting all the same signals that are ranking the top ranking brands, but also the signals that they have individually that allow them to rank against each other. So we're essentially combining all of the signals that Google is using to rank the current ranking sites, and using all of that to optimize the current sites off page, which is, like I said, anyone who's done SEO for a long time has pretty much followed a similar strategy like that, either when doing a campaign or developing their campaigns and figuring out what's working, because that's essentially what SEO is based on: looking at what's ranking and figuring out why, and then mimicking it. So
Don't they get the list too? Like,
yeah, oh yeah, you get the list.
You get
They generate free, if there's like paid links, like paid sponsorships and things like that, you'll get that list. You can go get those. Obviously, we can't spend $500 to get this awesome link for you if it's, if that's a hard cost. But you can give that to your client, you could upsell it to your client, you could just include it in a campaign. But then, yeah, any free signals we can get, if we need like an article or two, you can buy some articles with us, and we'll do, citations, some articles, company descriptions, like all that stuff, with the different signals. So yeah, again, it's the first thing I pretty much recommend,
Yeah.
For any campaign. If you already have citation, like all your basic branding, citations, and GMB optimized, I go straight into custom signals.
Or if you have like pesky competitors who are just like always 1 or 2 above you, I've had to deal with that, and custom signals have helped.
Yeah, it's definitely my top. I probably recommend that more than anything else. To be for SEO and GMB too, because honestly, like, organic is the same exact thing, and like that whole strategy, like organic was around way before maps. So obviously GMB, we're looking more local, but organic is.
The one site I did it on recently, it was all the results I looked at were organic. I didn't even look at anything local. Yes, I should have.
Some of your signals were probably local signals though, right? Like citation.
No, they're local signals, but they're benefiting the organics a lot. Like,
oh yeah, so I would check your geo grids. Those are probably exploding. I could almost guarantee it, if that, for sure. And custom signals is one of the few things that we probably see, like, specifically will impact maps and organic, because it kind of encompasses both of those signals, because we're not really picking and choosing, like, oh, we're only building local signals, or we're only doing map embeds, or linking to a GMB site, or linking to a website, right? It's not really sectioned off like that. It's, oh, they have a citation, we're putting your NAP with a link to your site with a map embed. So you do see increases across the board. So if you're in a local space, and like I said, smaller budgets especially, I always recommend the the custom signals as a standalone, for sure.
Yeah, and there's a couple different like amounts you can do. So even if you have like a $150 budget, isn't it?
Yeah, I
it's
think
less
we have like $109 five-hour campaign a month, and then 189 for 10 hours, I believe, something
yeah, I
like
think
that.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds about right. But yeah, I mean, it's like $100 a month, $110 a month.
For $100
Um,
a month to see that kind of a jump is
yeah, yeah. If you
that.
did nothing but at least do the 109 campaign for every single one of your clients, I would say that would be a pretty solid maintenance campaign, for a lower paying, like a $500 a month client, definitely $109 for custom signals, and then maybe another $100 for do some map embeds this month or stuff that month, but you could build some pretty solid local campaigns in smaller places for like $200 a month, which we've been doing a lot of actually. So again, we're kind of just not to pitch you on custom signals for the entire SEO Vault, but they're definitely good.
They're
But
so affordable.
they are. They definitely are.
I'm using it for myself. Okay, he had a follow-up question. What's the difference between custom signals and managed link building?
So managed link building is specifically niche edits and guest posts where it's like if you were to just buy niche edits, guest posts, and then choose anchor text and then do, so we're doing an anchor text analysis and we're choosing the anchor text and we're looking at how many links the competitor has and building, X amount of links a month using niche edits and guest posts, but it's more of a strategy, SEO strategy based around like the anchor text and matching like metrics and off page SEO, more based around authority, I would probably say, more than anything too. Whereas the custom signals are going to be more, definitely more powerful in smaller local spaces, right? So like if you're a massive e-com website, custom signals probably isn't the thing for you. You probably want something like managed link building, a lot more authority building, tiered linking, things like that. Whereas custom signals, we're not really doing, like, we're going to choose appropriate anchor text, but we're not specifically looking at what anchor text do we choose and which ratios for these keywords. Which one should we do, anchors on a blog post or niche edit, how many tiered links to each. It's a much more in-depth strategy. Whereas, like I said, custom signals is very simple. Find out what all the competitors have and then obtain as much of it as possible within the time. And like I said, it's 5 hours or 10 hours or 15 or 20. You could double up packages, obviously, but at the end of the day, they're spending X amount of time searching and compiling a list, and then X amount of time just getting as many signals as possible. And it's more just based around, I mean, I guess they're both based around competitor analysis. But one's more strategy based and one's more just competitor analysis based, I guess you would say, would be a good differentiator.
Oh, I skipped a question. How much do you weigh John Mueller's advice? It depends for me on what he says.
Yeah, I like to read between the lines with John Mueller. John, I don't listen to, I wouldn't say I'd listen to anything John Mueller says. There's not a single thing John Mueller's ever said where I was just like, oh, that's it. Like, I'm good. I that's 100% true. And the thing is too, you have to understand that John Mueller is in kind of a tight spot. First of all, John Mueller doesn't know the entire Google algorithm. Like, he doesn't. No one knows every single piece of the algorithm, and a lot of the complexities of Google's algorithm would make it so that even if you understood how it worked, it would be very difficult for you to understand, for you to do it yourself, right? You wouldn't be able to sit there and like whiteboard out where a website would rank based on the equation, the Google equation, right? That's not, it's way too complex for that. So John Mueller has a tough time. He is working in kind of a gray space. He's also dealing with, the press and things like that. And Google's, shareholders and him saying something that they won't like and all that good, politics and business crap also. But there is some truth to what he says because he does know something. So that's why I like to read between the lines. And I like to consider things to test and things like that. But I definitely, John Mueller says like you shouldn't get paid links or so. Like, no. John Mueller doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He says that because he has to, like he's not. Don't follow him for SEO training is what I'm trying to get at, right?
I feel like he said something that was crazy a couple weeks ago.
He says some
like, there's no way that's real. They're not going to give away all their secrets.
Yeah, I mean, John doesn't know him anyways, though. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm sure John's a smart guy and he knows a lot, I'm sure, but there's no one that could possibly know the entire algorithm in and out. Like, and that could literally like I'm gonna sit down and I'll give you metrics and like a list of backlinks. And if I were to have a website that had all of those things, I want you to tell me where it would rank after you do the math for this keyword. You're like, that's not how it works. It's too complex. So John Mueller is definitely and he'll sometimes just, I think, put his foot in his mouth too, where like he doesn't really know how to explain it, but he knows like some things, so he'll just like kind of say something stupid, like you said. Like he's just like, come on, John, really?
It was something like you can't, like if you link to another site, I can't. I'll have to go back and look maybe. I feel like it's like taxes. Two people can do it the exact same and get different answers.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Brian asked how many PBN map embeds are in Accelerated Phase 3. We just updated that. I don't know if we know the answer.
I do not know off the top of my head.
His main question is, should he add more onto what's already there or just let it settle out?
So people often ask me a lot, like questions like, should I add on these add-ons or should I do more or less? And I mean, if I'm going to answer that, like, honestly, then I can't give you an answer because I'm going to be guessing just as much as you are, especially since I don't know the niche or the keywords or the location. It's just more. Yeah, get more. More is better. Always more. But if you already are doing it, and it's already a part of the campaign, I would more so look at what results you're getting, what you're seeing happen, maybe look at what embeds they actually did. So maybe you decide to do some more embeds, but you are going to, target different keywords or do something different, but don't just look at, should I just do more because it's better, because it's more, right? If you're looking for more of a result, and you did PBN Map Embeds and that gave you a result you were looking for and you want more of that, then do more. But if it's already in the campaign and if you don't really know how it's performing with that the way it already is, I wouldn't say should you do more or not. I would say you need to continue and kind of figure out a little more what the campaign's doing. And if it is stagnant, you might try, say, a few more in the next month, but then look back and say, okay, we did some more of those. Did we get the movement we're looking for? No, maybe you do something else, or maybe you do finally. And that's really the way it's going to work. It's any one thing you could pick it and do more, and you're going to be guessing just as much as I am. Try it, look at the result. If it's what you're looking for, do more of it. If it's not what you're looking for, try something else that you are looking to test out or whatever. And if you haven't taken my advice before on this, get GMB listings at your house, at your location, at your office. PBN links too are super cheap. Like I think they're like $5 a link at Web 20. You can buy them in like 10, 20, 30 or something like that, but they're super cheap. You could test them out, test different anchor text, test um, all different types of things. But definitely test things before you just throw them at a client, and don't just throw things at a client because you're looking for more better. Like that's a strategic move. Look at what's happening and make strategic, educated decisions. You should do it more or not. So I'll stop rambling now. Sorry, I'm in a rambling mood today.
Oh no, I X'd out of the news.
Uh-oh. Let me see. I got this right here.
I know what John Mueller said first. John Mueller thinks it's a fallacy for SEOs to focus on tiny factors. I do think that's true.
Yeah, let's get into the news real quick since we're holy crap, it's already 4:40. Yeah, so let's do the news since because John Mueller did say that.
Which is true. I've had so many clients send me a report, every single little thing ticked off, and it's like the amount of time it would cost me to do that is not worth it.
That's also like back to the comment like PRs didn't do anything for me, or do I need more map embeds? If you do 10 map embeds and they don't move the needle, that doesn't mean map embeds don't work or that they didn't work. And I have seen more failing campaigns because people will do something and then spend a week or 2 weeks or a month or 2 months or 3 months trying to figure out if it did anything or if it was worth it before doing anything else. And then they say that that didn't work. So they move on to something else and they do the same process over and over. They run this little piece of a campaign and then they're like, well, what happened? What was the result after 30 days or 60 days? Or, what do we pay? But then they don't do anything else. And they just keep writing, well, map embeds didn't work, backlinks didn't work, optimizing the description, PBN posts didn't work on the GMB. And they say all these things don't work. It's because they do one and then they try to find this result and they're like, no, that didn't work. And then they do another thing and they try. When you start getting in that habit, you're guaranteed to fail because that is just not how SEO works. And if Google is looking for people that look like they're doing SEOs to not give them credit for their SEO, that would be the first thing I would look for. Things that would just like pop up and then go stagnant and then pop up and then just go stagnant because that's generally not how that works. So sorry, another ramble. I would take John Mueller's advice on that though. So what other news we got?
So they finished rolling out the core update on Saturday, the first half. No, that's the page experience. I'm reading between the lines. Page experience is updating between June 15th. They'll end it up in August. Which you haven't seen any big movement from that, have you? I did not, I don't think. At all.
I haven't been seeing, like I said, I saw more movement before any of these updates started. And I mean, I am seeing movement now, but nothing that I could say for me is definitive because of an update, especially the page experience like that. I would have no clue. I haven't seen anything that would, like, I'm thinking if anyone sees something because of the page experience, I'm betting it's going to be pretty drastic. Especially because of I think it's actually one of the things you're going to say in a minute. Oh yeah, one of the Google says things that John Mueller stated. I'll wait till you get to that, but okay. That's why I think that'll be a bigger impact if you do see anything.
I wish I would have had a site that had like a 30-second load time or something, so I could have just seen if it even impacted crazy slow sites.
Just pick one of your sites.
I don't have any slow ones.
You don't have, no, pick a site and make it a 30-second load. Go and make it a 30-second load time.
I guess I could. I want to sabotage my own personal site.
I mean, that's something I would do, to be honest. I'm gonna check and see. I know I got, I think I got a good site actually. I got a real good site. Spring for
that'd be a good SEO Mad Scientist test.
Actually, yeah, I have a site that I have a few. They actually get some pretty good traffic too. So I'll destroy it for the sake of science, like I've done so many times before.
Google's or GMB is also they finished or started rolling out the direction requests and website visits, but I haven't seen that on any of my listings. Have you?
I have not. I put that in the news update, but yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I didn't see anything about that. And I've been looking in there for the past few days, looking at all different things. So
They're
yeah,
probably
I
rolling
mean,
out in batches like everything else.
yeah. When they did the last update, that's for the dashboard, right? That's gonna be
Yeah,
like in the yeah. When they did that last big dashboard update, it like some older accounts updated and not other ones. So maybe there's, maybe it'll take a week or so for it to switch over.
Google also rolled out a mobile search feature, browse more ideas box. For example, a search for best or beach ideas would show a query for more options.
Yeah, like
Ideas beach.
things to do in the area and things like that, it looked like.
Gosh, that's cool.
I've been saying for a long time now that people need to understand the complexities with search and what people are really looking for. And the fact that the way Google is addressing the issue behind search isn't making the algorithm better, it's making it more efficient at delivering the content, whether it's images or videos or lists or recipes or whatever it is. So as the days go on, and even now we see it more and more, search is going to look so different. Like we got these boxes now, we got images, we got snippets, we got they came out with the passage rankings and things like that. So that's actually this whole section here. I think I put in here is the SERP changes updates in our news. And there's actually 4 of them, but every week there's always something, right? That's like they're testing or changing. So what are the other ones there we had?
Oh, hold on, I gotta go back. That one though says that when you click on the boxes, it's not going to take you to some Google feature. It's just going to do another search on that search term. So you're not going to lose traffic necessarily.
So that's what a lot of these internal, like people also asked, and people also, so a lot of these actually take you to another search, and I don't expect that to change. What I expect to change is what you see when it takes you to that other search. So Google is going to break down those searches and try and push people more towards these different long tail searches, or essentially train people at getting better at searching for things by allowing them to hone down on specifics of brands or model numbers or specific ideas that they're looking for. But when they actually deliver the answer to that, whatever it is, they're going to want to do it through their search engine. They're not going to want to make a whole separate platform that then delivers that. So when you do click on these things and it brings you to another search, though, as opposed to like having just 10 websites, organic websites, you'll have maybe a list and multiple drop downs and more further ways to search and segment the search and things like that. So again, it's something that you really got to stay on top of because it's going to change quick, and it changes quicker every week, it seems like.
They're also testing, well, this is another piece of news, testing the feedback bubbles on the people also asked. So they're also rapidly refining.
Yep. And it's like I said, it's probably just going to get quicker.
Google's testing an arrow up in the footer of mobile search results. What is that?
Yeah, one of those arrows that I guess you click to return to the top. That's what it looked like, at least.
Because you have to scroll so much now on mobile.
Mobile is one. I mean, that's all it is. It's a giant feed. So.
Yes, you're right. Then the last update for the changes to the SERPs are they're testing an article carousel for author knowledge panels. So like a single author, all her articles.
Yep.
I feel like this would only be like impactful for journalists right now. Don't you think?
Well, an author, an entity, I don't know if an entity can be considered an author, or how author entities are necessarily, I mean, I remember back when Google Plus author snippets were the thing, and you wanted to get your, you know, your little Google author image in the SERPs to increase the click-through rates. But yeah, I mean, definitely if you are an author, that's probably pertinent.
Well, it says like Google specifically said people.
Yeah, I know. Well, they do. It is people, because and they've tried to attribute content to writers. Like I said, that was, when was that? Was that like 5-6 years ago? When Google used to put the little author, you used to be able to do like the schema markup or whatever for the author, and it would put the Google Plus author image in the SERPs before the URL or whatever. So I mean, I think it's probably, it kind of falls in probably to the same concept, is that they're looking at, you know, content and attributing it to a specific author or person or whatever. And the end all question from SEOs, I think back then, which is probably the same we're going to get now, is does content authority get weighed based on author? Like if Google knows a specific author writes often about a specific topic, and then like sees that there's a specific piece of content now, say published on your site by that author, does that author's content get more authority because it's by that author? So again, could be something we see come up, getting questioned again in the future, or maybe not. But again, rich snippets changing the way Google delivers information, and things in the SERPs is changing. So be on top of it, stay on top of it. And yeah, that's I think that's, oh no, the Google says section, right?
Yeah.
These both John Mueller quotes, I think, from this week.
See, John Mueller said,
I know the first one
this
was
is long.
Gary Milas, I think, was the second one.
There's some signals that we can't reliably collect on a per page basis, where we do need to have a bit of better understanding of the overall site, and quality kind of falls into that category.
Quality is a site level signal.
I thought that was, oh, I should have said that first. I thought that was like already known.
Well, a lot of things John Mueller says are probably already known or known to not be true. So yeah, I mean, this is rehashed information to some extent, but it's important too to understand. And again, this is what I was saying earlier. If you are impacted by the core vitals, the page speed update, any of that stuff, you're probably going to see, I would think, a pretty big impact, because like John is explaining here, it is a site-wide signal. So your website as a whole is going to feel the effects of your site performing poorly. It's not just one page is going to load slow and that's going to hurt or help your rankings. And we've even seen this with sites previously before all these updates. So this, you know, what John is saying isn't just new to the new updates. This has been this way for a long time. Sites that perform very poorly in mobile load times, or anything like that, they've had a lot of issues with rankings, and we necessarily wouldn't have to go through and get the entire site perfect. We would get a good majority of the site better, and once we would get things, you know, certain elements fixed and certain scripts and things loading properly, it would be night and day in the rankings. But we would still have, you know, like a 5-7 second load time on some pages. So understanding that this is a big picture thing when we talk about page speed and site quality, right? Your homepage could be 100 on mobile and desktop, but if the rest of your site is 32 and below, you could have problems. So be aware of that.
That kind of goes into the last piece of news. John Mueller and Gary Isles both had stuff to say. They said there isn't all that much trick in the search. Just make good websites users are searching for. And then Gary said there isn't all that much trick in search. We're not trying to trick anyone into making better, whatever. which I agree with.
Yeah, Google doesn't play as many games as they used to. I think mostly now it's mostly just business crap, or like I said, shareholders and things like that, which is where most of the games come into play, you know, or where you kind of have to read between the lines. But at this point in the game, like even spam isn't as big as of a thing as Google as it used to be. I think it was what, last week or so they were even talking about that over the past year, like spam manual citation, or you know, like sending out webmaster shutdown manuals, whatever, penalizing manual penalties. We're at like at an all-time low because the algorithm actually took care of most of it now, right? So yeah, I think Google is pretty straightforward with their search. I think it's complex enough that they don't have to worry about exposing too much, right? Because like even if, like I said, even if you knew the algorithm and you knew the code, you wouldn't be able to figure it out on a chalkboard, you know, how where a website would rank. So um with that said, building good content and waiting to rank and not optimizing for keywords or doing any SEO strategy at all is not the way to go. So like, don't that's not true. Like there's no trick. Yeah, it's not a trick, but like it's something you got to do. You don't just build a website and just, oh, you know, I trust Google's gonna know everything they need to know about me now and will rank me. That's not how it works either. So
I can't keep up with all these questions. When was that local update? Was that 2 weeks ago now?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, Colin. So yes, there was a local update around 6/2. I'm trying to.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
I can't keep track of time. I feel like it was over 2 weeks ago now.
It might have been over 2 weeks ago. If you saw movement on 6/2, though, it could very well be from updates, is what I would say. Where are you at here?
I'm at Doug. Do you? He asked, "Do you have a suggestion for a search term that's heavily competitive? How can you push your client over the top?"
Well, I mean,
It depends on what you've already done.
it also depends on if you're talking about local or organic. It also depends on if you're
I
talking.
think he's talking about local because he said GMB search.
Oh, GMB. Okay, I didn't catch the GMB. And I mean, even then, are the competitors, do they have the keyword in the business name? The real question is, why is the keyword so competitive? That's what I would really say. What makes it competitive? And if it's just a high population area, like, and that's why you're saying it's competitive, that's fine. But like, why? What is making the top ranking sites rank? Just like we said with custom signals. But if it's like they're all got exact match, you know, keywords in their name and stuff like that, then you have to compete then on that level most likely. So that answer is going to change depending on what you're really up against. If it's competitive because of lead gen people, other SEOs, if it's competitive because businesses have been there for 80 or 100 plus years and have had GMBs since the beginning of Google, you know, like what actually makes it competitive, and then go from there. And if it is like a naming situation where you don't have the keyword in your brand and like the top 10 businesses do, that can be an uphill battle. Or if you're all the way on the outside of town and you're trying to rank more inside of town with the other big high comp businesses, that those are going to be your two hardest things, I think, to overcome: proximity, or that business name, if that is the case. So if either one of those are why it's high comp, spend a lot of money doing SEO and that GMB. You're gonna need some work, is the point, some authority. Other than that, try and see what's really got those things ranking and go after those signals. That'd be my
Competitor research. I feel like
yeah.
everything boils down to competitor research in the end.
Well, it does. I mean, that's the core of SEO. You know, and if at the end of the day, if it's like, well, what should I do to rank against the competitors? And it's like, well, look at what your competitors are doing that's making them rank, and then do that, but more of it. You know, like get those same signals, but more of them.
Yeah.
So it's stronger.
What niche is it, Doug? He said there's a lot of keyword stuffing. That's really common in certain niches, I think.
So that's a tough one.
Maybe they'll get.
So, okay, so if keyword stuffing is the reason you can't rank, I mean, there's a few options there. The less popular one that I don't like to do is flagging all the competitors because they're breaking the rules and they shouldn't be doing that. But I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying
They have fake
option.
reviews too.
Yeah, so I mean that's I don't really condone that, but it is an option. Other option, which is honestly more the option that I go, is get in the playing field. I'll crank out 37 GMB listings with keywords and 1,000 citations, and it just spam the hell out of the SERPs. Spam harder and stronger than the competitors. Outdo the spammers. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't tell you to spam Google. Chaz is gonna be like, don't tell people to do that at 120.
They're already doing that. The other
Yeah. But I mean, when you're in a dirty playing field, sometimes you gotta play dirty, you know. Unfortunately.
You could ask if it's better to have suite C building 4 or C4. It does not matter, but just have it consistent, wouldn't you say?
What was that?
If the building is suite C, or if it's suite C building 4, is that more beneficial than saying C4? I don't think people would.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it does. For a long time, people have harped on the importance of continuity between your citations. The suite number unit, that line 2 of the address, I would say is so insignificant. Even our testing on the actual street address, we've built citations with completely random street numbers and street names, but then the same city, state, and zip, and we didn't have any issues ranking or anything. So yeah, I think Google's way smarter than that. You want your name, the phone number, website, get all of those signals in line. If you can use the same one, right, number C or unit C or whatever, go ahead, use it. Like, I'm not going to say purposely make it different, but if one's different than the other, don't burn up time. And if your client's complaining about it or saying like, this is a big issue, like, explain to them, no, like, don't lose sleep over it, because it's not, you know, the end of the world. So.
I have so many comments.
Where'd the live go?
How do you keep losing it? Are you on your little computer?
I am. See, there I am. There I am.
Work on that.
No, what happened is I actually cut off. Like, I think my internet connection or something. It was like, we can't display your thing right now. So where were we?
So many jokes in the comments today.
Jordan says NAP is like 1% of a factor, and yeah, that's I agree. Like, that NAP is not. It's a great signal to leverage, but especially like when it comes down to the unit.
No, definitely not the unit. Do you think it matters if they have like I just did an audit for somebody, they had their brand name 5 different ways.
The name of the business?
Yeah. Yeah.
That I do think could be an issue.
A big one. I think there was like a lot of confusion in the SERPs because they were naming their business Oh, it was like they were trying to go after their competitors and name it almost the same thing, but not really.
Oh, were the keyword stuffed?
It was
Like,
in all these different citations.
I mean, they were keyword stuffing citations.
They were competitor brand name stuffing their citations.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. No, I have no idea about any of that strategy there. What I will say is that Google is pretty smart, and having your brand name the same across all your listings is important. I would say it's way more important than the street address. But at the same time, I've had my own brand and other people's brands I've worked with where I've actually benefited from cross branding. I don't know what you call it, but for example, my agency was Milas Marketing Inc. And we had citations and links and references for Milas Marketing Inc., and Milas Marketing. And I also referenced it by the owner, Mike Milas, which, Milas and Milas. So pretty much when you Googled any one of those, my brand came up, and Google definitely was able to identify that they were all the same thing. That was back when I was ranking for Chicago SEO terms. And I honestly think that benefited me a lot. It really kind of strengthened the brand because it gave me more of a range in Google understanding what my brand was about, versus just like right now I'm looking like Web 20 ranker. If you Google Web 20 ranker or Web 2.0 ranker, those are actually different searches. And things can react differently based on a space or a period and things like that. And when Google can actually see that both of those are the same, it compiles those signals. And again, I guess this is more speculation. I don't know this for sure, but it can kind of compile those signals better, right? So it can assign that authority properly in a much better way. And it probably even gives you credit in some places that maybe you wouldn't have so much before, right? If it can see like an article with your brand or something in it and associate that a little more. But wow, yeah, lots of comments. Just keeps
You're
going.
definitely right though, because think about like different variations of a state. That's like a broader example, but it says
Yeah.
Florida or FL.
Yep. Exactly.
So just similar names, but this person was like completely off the wall.
You said like competitor names, and like that's weird. That's
Well,
really weird.
I hesitate saying this, but I've actually done that before where I had a competitor that was very similar to mine, and I would build things that had their brand name in it because it was still technically relevant, and we started ranking for their branded terms.
Yeah, I've had a few of similar things, just where we've ranked for other brand names and the other brands weren't happy about it. So, but yeah, I mean, you can rank for your brand, your competitors. It is possible. So it's interesting strategy. If anyone knows about this, building citations with your competitors. Was it their address? Was it their address with their name?
It was
And
like the same address, but there were so many different brand names, and they weren't even like close to where it was like American Airlines AA. It's like I don't even want to say because I'll just say the brand name. But
that's so weird. I don't know. It makes me want to test it and see what happens. Maybe someone knows something we don't. Where are we at?
just got over 100 comments.
Oh crap. Okay, well I'm just gonna go to the bottom then. Jordan's blowing up the comments here. All right. Mike still uses safe links. I actually don't use safe links. In all honesty, I've never used safe links ever. I have used them in conjunction with someone else doing other things and testing. I have never actually ordered or placed or did SERP links myself, which is pretty much just Russian hack links, if anyone doesn't know what SERP links are.
I just Googled it.
I believe Jordan did some testing with some SERP links in his GMB site. Something like that. I saw him. Jordan can tell me how to do it. I don't know what you're talking about, Jordan.
A competitor, how to rank for your competitor's branded.
Oh, yeah. I know how to rank for my competitors' names. I don't know why you would put your competitors' names in your Yelp citation or something, right? Like that's an interesting.
Everybody's got their own strategies.
Jordan still uses SERP. Ballsy Jordan. Screw you, Google. Yeah, no, actually SERP is, I actually know a few people that use SERP successfully. And I think like those types of links are probably going to work for a long time, especially just by design.
Are they like tier 2 links?
They're like hack links, pretty much. You might as well just call them hack. I'll just call them hack links. So yeah, it's just like getting a link from like some massive brand's homepage or blog post or something, because someone like just went to their site and put a link there. Like I said, I'm not too but yeah, they're basically, yeah. So Jordan, they're basically niche edits, which are basically hack links 90% of the time. So there you go. How dare you, Mike?
Oh my god.
I'm not. I shouldn't make generalizations about SERP links though, because like I said, I've never used them. Take my advice about SERP. I have no experience with them. So.
Oh, it's hearsay.
That's good stuff. What else? Oh, that was all the news, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have no other news.
Oh yeah, we're getting pretty late here. Don't say the H word. Okay, let's see. Any other good questions you want to answer?
No, I've been going through them. There aren't any more. I don't think. I hope not. Jordan, are you saying Roto-Rooter uses SERP links? Because I have a direct competitor of them.
They do now. As of last month, they do. Michael's on the dark side now. Now he's on the light side. I've switched more to white hat SEO than like my PBN game has definitely died off. I used to love the PBNs and play with Google like be the puppet master.
They've gotten so smart. I was just thinking yesterday about how I used to search years and years ago and like I'd spell something wrong and it wouldn't understand the misspelling.
Change your brand to Roto-Rooter for a couple links, then hang it back and you'll rank for it. I know what he's talking about. Green hat SEO. Roto-Rooter is actually one of my favorite sites to look at and break down. Like if you're a multi-location business, we normally recommend to check out their site architecture. Matt says he's a green hat. Alrighty. Oh, let's give away some tier 2 links.
Hold on, I gotta pull it up. Find it. There's so many more names than 3 this time.
There is. Yeah, we had 3 prizes last week and only
Do you like those sound effects? Doug won.
Doug.
We'll message you, Doug.
Pick me. Sorry, Brian. You have to come back next week. Where is Doug?
He's up higher.
Doug is high. Oh yeah, there he is. Um, okay, Doug, I saw you, but then you disappeared on me. Can you get his Facebook page, Sophie, and just
Yeah, I'll
show
grab it.
Because
I'm on a desktop. I'll grab it easier.
yeah, okay. Doug, I'll message you the a coupon code with a link so you can go and grab those free PBN links. And thank you. Rigged, James. I mean, we had a lot of comments. So
we had 129 comments.
holy crap. Okay. Well, you know what? Everyone show up next week and we'll give away more prizes. How about that? Because we only had last week we had 3 prizes. None of you people came. None of you came. And we gave away 3 prizes to the only 3 people who commented. So and now we got all you people here and you're saying it's rigged. Come on. I know Trump should have won. Do we need a recount? Sophie, do a recount. We'll be back next month with the final results.
There is no recount.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess we'll call it a day. Thank you everyone for joining us on the SEO Vault every Thursday, 4 p.m. I hope you had a good time. Join us every week. SEO news, updates, brand updates. Chaz should be back with us next week. Thank you, Sophie, for being here again. I am Mike, your co-host. Oh yeah, download our podcast and listen to us on the podcast thing that Chaz likes to talk about all the time. So it's actually getting popular right here. People are podcast people. So check us out. You can Google the SEO Vault. Find all of our previous SEO vaults on web20ranker.com or download podcasts. Take us wherever you go. That's it for today. Have a wonderful Thursday, and we will see everyone next week. Bye.